Hello, Rough Rider Nation, and welcome to the Rider Report, the ins and outs of Yavapai College athletics. I'm Brad Clifford, the athletic director here at Yavapai College, and I have with me today Jennifer Stalter, our assistant/pitching coach for the softball team. Jennifer, welcome to the program today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let me talk a little bit about you here, and you can fill in some details. You're beginning your second year with the Rough Riders. Third year with the Rough Riders. She comes with an impressive resume, having played in the ACCAC at Mesa for a year.
For 1 year, yes.
For 1 year, and then you went onto University of Texas El Paso, UTEP. And while at UTEP, you were an academician as well as a softball player. You were a Conference USA academic medalist, and also you were named to the Conference USA's academic honor roll. So you were able to balance both things.
I was. I definitely took it very seriously.
How difficult is that at Division I level?
It can be difficult, especially with choosing a major and dependent on what that major is.
Right.
I had some very difficult semesters, but time management goes a long way.
Goes a long way. Something that we can probably all learn, but especially as college student athletes, is time management.
Yes, I think it's one of the most important things that they learn.
Indeed.
As they get very busy.
Indeed. Now, you after you finished playing at UTEP, you returned and you were an assistant coach, graduate assistant coach, and you completed your master's degree in kinesiology.
I did.
Okay. And then upon completion in December of 2013, you served as a pitching coach for this 2014 season before you returned home to Arizona. Tell us about your pitching coach time there at UTEP.
Well, I enjoyed it. I had 7 pitchers, which is a lot for a pitching staff. So managing workout for 7 pitchers throughout the day is quite tough, but I enjoyed it very much. But I definitely wanted to return back to Arizona because I'm an Arizona kid at heart.
Casa Grande?
I'm from Casa Grande.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity to come back and somehow made it here.
Made it here. Well, we're glad you're here. Now listen, here's what I want to talk about, I guess, with you. You were a pitcher in high school.
I was.
And you got some accolades as a pitcher in high school.
I did. I was a very good pitcher in high school.
Okay, so you go to UTEP and you turn into a utility player, it says. So you were a position player.
Yes, definitely. There's a point in an athlete's life where you kind of decide what you're most sellable as. And I wasn't going to be a pitcher at the Division I level.
Okay.
I'm a little bit short.
Okay.
But I'm pretty athletic.
Right.
So I definitely signed as an outfielder into the college level, but somehow played 3 years of infield. So it worked out.
So you've really you went from the battery to the outfield to the infield. You've done all positions as a softball player.
As a player, yes. And I think it helps as a coach.
Oh, indeed.
Definitely know a lot of aspects of the game defensively. But pitching, I just understand.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it in lines and planes, and it really helps me to explain things with the pitchers.
Fantastic. I want to talk about that after a little bit. So let's see. So tell us about the transition. Was the transition from pitcher to position player hard for you? Is that a hard, difficult thing?
In high school, when I didn't pitch, I played second.
Okay.
So
you had done that before.
Yeah, and I played some outfield for them as well. So.
Let's talk about the transition from junior college to Division I. That's a jump. That's quite a jump.
It is. I felt as if I was ready for the Division I level. And my first year, I definitely had that. But in the Division I level, they scout you pretty hard.
Right.
And everything gets around. So as you get a little bit further into your career, you have a little bit more difficult time. They know how to pitch to you. They know how to
know your weaknesses, know your strengths.
And that gets around. So.
Yeah.
But I was blessed to be able to play at that level, and it was exciting. We had a lot of great games and a lot of great people.
Oh, and you played in a good conference. You played in the Conference USA, so that's some good competition.
Yep, Tulsa was a very good team out of that conference. UCF was very good. Marshall has made a run for it a few years, so I had the opportunity to play ASU and U of A, and as a player, I never lost ASU, which is kind of cool.
There you go.
So
that's quite a feat there. All right, so here at Yavapai College, you were hired to be. So this is your first year as a full-time assistant. You've been a volunteer assistant the last 2 years, and you're our pitching coach. So tell us a little bit about our pitchers. Tell us about the 3 pitchers we have.
Well, we've got Amy Robinson returning. She had an absolute stellar year last year. I expect her to have just the same type of year. She's off to a little bit of a slow start. She's had some difficulties to start with, but I have full confidence in her. I think she's going to do great. She's definitely our ace.
And she's signed already to go to USC Upstate,
Correct.
University of South Carolina Upstate. And if I remember, last year she started a little slow too, so she gets stronger as the season goes along.
She does. She knows what. She's one of the best pitchers I've ever worked with as far as understanding her body and understanding what she needs to do on a daily basis. And our communication is very good between the two of us, and we work really well together. And
Sure.
I think she's going to be very successful this season as well as in the next level.
Sure. Then we go to Santana Parra.
Santana Parra, she'll soft you to death. She throws a lot of off speed, but she can jam you inside, and she's just very dynamic in her pitching. She's done a great job for us so far. She threw a great game against Phoenix, which allowed us to take the win there.
Right. That was a huge win for us.
Definitely.
And then she combined with a shutout with Kiana Spencer against Paradise Valley this last time we played.
Yes, she did.
So Kiana Spencer.
Kiana Spencer, she's sneaky fast. She's a lefty. She has great spin. She's probably our best spinner. She has great movement on the ball, which doesn't allow hitters to get comfortable in the box. And so she's going to be very successful for us over the next course of time.
So I want to go off script a little bit here, and let's talk. What do you look for in a pitcher? You're a recruiting coordinator as well, I think. And so what are you looking for in a pitcher? You talk about spinning. You talk about off speed. What's ideal?
I think they kind of all work in different ways. You've got power pitchers who throw hard and can jam the zone, but then you've got kids that keep batters off balance. So it's kind of a puzzle. You have to put a pitching staff together that's going to work well together,
right.
Kind of complement each other. With Amy, she comes in hard on the hands, and she's got movement up in the zone, and then you bring Santana in the next game, and she's got off speeds, and you can't get comfortable, you can't get timing. But when we're looking for pitchers, we have to look for a power type pitcher. That's how we
Sure.
look at things. We've got great kids coming in next year that are going to be able to produce the same type of pitching staff.
So if you're looking for how hard is it to teach a spin, a rise? How hard is it to teach those power pitchers if they don't have that?
It just depends on what they're willing to do, how hard they're willing to work. The rise ball's a very difficult pitch to learn. Right. Body position and grip have a lot to do with it, and I think that's the most difficult thing for young athletes is learning their body and understanding where their body is in space and getting into a good position to make the pitch move.
Right.
And you've got a lot of young kids that don't always get that really good understanding of pitches. And everybody teaches a pitch the same way, but not every kid is built the same way.
Right.
So you have to make alterations with pitches so that it's more successful for that type of kid. A shorter kid can't stride out as far on a rise ball as a tall kid can. So we're just making alterations there and making it more specific to the athlete to help them be more successful.
Interesting. Well, you got to be pleased with your pitchers right now. I mean, we're only giving up 3 runs a game, which is pretty good in our conference. We played in a pretty good conference. We played in a tough tournament out there in Henderson. So you got to be pretty pleased with what they're doing right now.
I am, and they continue to work hard, and I think they're getting better every day. And as the season goes on, I think we're going to be very good. Our pitching staff is strong, and they do complement each other. And I think that moving forward, we're going to have a lot of success this year.
So take me through a day in the life of you with the pitchers. Today at practice, I mean, obviously we have a game tomorrow, so it's going to be a little bit different. But, I mean, there's got to be conditioning. They've got to throw. They've got to tell us what a day in the life of a coach and a pitcher is like in preparation for the season.
Well, we work differently depending on what the week has gone like. We make alterations. If they had a hard workout in CrossFit, we may go a little lighter the next day. But I usually, right up until the game, we have a hard workout, hard bullpen where we throw in any type situations with counts, so that they understand what type of pitches to throw, what I'm looking for as far as location and a certain count. And then the day before a game, we usually just get loose and feel good going into competition.
Yeah. You talked about calling pitches and whatnot. I want to go with that. So without giving away any secrets, we don't want to give the competition anything here. Tell us your thought process in calling pitches, because you call all the pitches.
I do.
Obviously it's different situations, different batters, different pitchers. Mm-hmm. What do you look for when you're calling pitches?
Their location in the box, if they're back in the box, up in the box, what type of swing plane they have, how aggressive they are, where I can start and how I can finish kind of depends on the batter and how they've gone through their at-bat. If they're jumping on something early, how am I going to move through that? And then, of course, I have Coach down at the end of the dugout chirping
a little bit.
He gives me some feedback every once in a while. But usually we're on the same page.
Right.
I very rarely, he doesn't know that we're on the same page.
Right.
A lot of times, whatever he says, I'm way ahead of him.
Sure.
But we get along really well in that, and he trusts that I call a pretty good game.
Yeah,
and it's easy to call a game when we've got pitchers that can hit their spots.
Sure. You have the horses, it's easy to run the race, right? But you obviously do a great job of calling the pitches. Interesting with that. Appreciate you sharing that. So let's talk about your softball memories, whether as a coach or as a player. What's your most outstanding softball memory?
It's funny because I think my best memory is with Yavapai and in the regionals last year. Those were some of the greatest games I've ever been a part of, and I'm lucky to have been there because I haven't had games like that. UTEP we were a successful program. We had some winning seasons, but we didn't have the opportunity to play for championships like that. My senior year, we played for the Conference USA Championship, and that game was amazing.
Yeah.
But seeing the girls and being in a different role, I think that memory last year in the regionals was top-notch. Well,
it certainly is a good experience for the girls as well. And I think, especially with the returns we have going into the national tournament, they played in national tournament, they won games at the national tournament, obviously finished fourth in the nation. How important is that for this group, especially when you have a good mix of sophomores and freshmen? How important was it for them to play and have some success, not only in the region tournament, but the national tournament?
I think it was very important. They know that they can succeed at that level. They know that they can compete. And having that sophomore leadership moving into this season and having those great players come back, it's going to really help us.
Yeah. And the freshmen will look for them for leadership.
Yes, and most of our freshmen aren't afraid.
Right.
They came in ready to play, and they're ready to go after the same type of season.
Well, and you can see that in them, and you can see that in their approach to the game, their approach to the at-bats, their approach to pitching with the freshmen, that they are ready to go. So it's a good blend we have.
Yes, we have a definitely good blend of kids, and we have good kids, and that's what's exciting too, that we have not just great athletes, but good character kids.
Well, and that's coming from an all-Conference USA academic honors softball player. So you know the importance of having that balance.
Most definitely.
Good. Well, we appreciate you being here. Short little interview, but we appreciate you being here. The Rough Riders continue conference play on Saturday, February 11th. We play at Pima, which is a huge game.
It is.
Battle of the Titans right there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one. But
it will be.
I think we'll have some successes.
I think we'll be all right. Again, then we come back and we've got at Glendale on February 14th on Valentine's Day, and then we come back to Bill Valley Field on Saturday, February 18th to entertain Mesa Community College, your old stomping grounds there. So don't take it easy on them, Coach.
No, not at all.
So come out to Bill Valley Field and support the Rough Riders. We're off to a great start. I believe we're 9-2 at this point. We're 5-1 in conference, so we're off to a great start. Come out and help us defend the regional and district championship, so we can get to the national tournament. This concludes this edition of the Rider Report. We want to thank Jennifer Stalter for being with us. Thanks, Coach. We look forward to seeing you out there on the field.
Thank you for having me.
And make sure to follow us on www.goroughriders.com, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. And as always, go Rough Riders.